Of course, the biggest difficulty Novo Nordisk is facing is in the GLP-1 market for diabetes and weight loss. The company's competing against compounders that are able to sell the drugs at lower prices and branded options like Eli Lilly, which is gaining more market share because the performance of its treatments eclipsed that of Novo Nordisk. So Novo Nordisk stock is down significantly this year, and those are just a few of the headwinds I highlighted. But I think Novo Nordisk stock could be an interesting opportunity. So I wanted to dig deeper here and understand what's going on with Novo Nordisk. And I'll answer if I think this is a buying opportunity on the dip and share with you my fair value calculation and compare it with the current market price to see if this stock is undervalued.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So the most important category right now for Novo Nordisk is obesity and diabetes treatments. In the most recently completed quarter, obesity care sales increased by 41%, driven by the US operations growing 24% and international operations growing 83%. The rare disease sales segment increased by 13%, driven by increases in the US and internationally. Overall sales in international operations grew by 16% in the first 9 months of 2025, driven by the GLP-1 product. Diabetes sales increased by 10%, driven by Ozempic and Ribocels in China. Now, GLP-1 diabetes sales decreased by 4%, which is negatively impacted by wholesaler inventory, while obesity care grew by 83%. Now, if you're investing in Novo Nordisk stock, you're not just investing in the weight loss and diabetes treatments, but you're investing in a company with the capability to research and develop new treatments that generate billions of dollars in sales and profits. Right now, the most important product in its pipeline is the oral pill version of this obesity treatment. And so this is an indication of a potential market for Novo Nordisk. The amount of people that are obese just in the United States alone is estimated at above 100 million people. So it's a big market opportunity, and Novo Nordisk stock investors are hoping that the company can capitalize. Now, sales of Wegovy reached approximately 20 billion Danish krone, growing at 168% year over year. In the combined diabetes and obesity GLP-1 market, Novo Nordisk remains the market leader in international operations with a market share of 68%. Ozempic continues to be the leading GLP-1 diabetes product within international operations, having launched in around 80 countries. In obesity, Wegovy is now launched in more than 45 countries with more to come. The oral pill version has been submitted in the EU and for potential launch in selected EU markets. It's also been submitted in the United States. The company could achieve approval in some time later this year, with the hope that they can launch and start sales early next year. So growth in this category, as you've seen here with its demonstrated results, is excellent, and that's what's really driving excitement around these pharmaceutical companies. Of course, Novo Nordisk just had a bidding war with Pfizer for a startup, a new company that's developing a new treatment in weight loss, and it lost the bid to Pfizer. But you can see all of the pharmaceutical companies, the big ones at least, are interested in participating in this market because the opportunity is so massive. So right now, weekly Ozempic prescriptions are around 670,000 in standard units compared to 690,000 in the second quarter of 2025. So they experienced a decrease in Ozempic prescriptions by 20,000 from Q2 to Q3. And of course, that's a negative sign for Novo Nordisk stock investors. In the meantime, the GLP diabetes market grew around 10% in the third quarter, compared to the same quarter in 2024. They continue to invest in commercial activities and recently launched Ozempic in their direct-to-patient cash offering. And they've been working with the administration in the United States to make their weight loss and diabetes treatments more affordable and more accessible to a larger percentage of the population. So Wegovy sales in the United States was driven by increased volumes, but they're experiencing lower realized prices. So they're getting a lower average price per unit or average price per prescription, but they're expanding the number of individuals that are prescribed. So in August, they announced that the US FDA approved Wegovy for treatment for MASH in the United States, and they've established the sales force targeting hepatologists and gastroenterologists while they work to build access in the segment generally. So around 55 million people with obesity have Wegovy coverage in the US, with more than 10 million people estimated to be covered with Medicaid. Novo launched NovaCare Pharmacy in March of 2025, and together with retail channel, the total cash market is up around 10% of Wegovy prescriptions. Consumers have shown a willingness to pay directly for these treatments. Even if their insurance is not covering these treatments, people have shown a willingness to pay to receive these treatments. Novo will continue to invest in the expansion of the direct-to-patient initiatives because they like the initial response, and they've made collaborations with GoodRx and Costco. They continue to anticipate a regulatory decision regarding the pill later this year, the oral pill for Wegovy, the weight loss treatment, which they expect will be ready to launch in early 2026. This could be a huge catalyst for Novo Nordisk because it will be first to market with the pill. And the pill, the difference between the performance in its pill versus the difference in performance with Eli Lilly's pill, if Eli Lilly does come out with its own pill version, which it is researching and hoping to get approval for also in 2026, but later in 2026, Eli Lilly doesn't expect to get its approval and its pill to market until the middle of next year or perhaps even later. So Novo will be first to market, and the difference between its pill and Eli Lilly's pill is not expected to be as large as the difference between its injection version versus Eli Lilly's injection version. So I mentioned Novo Nordisk experiencing difficulties in 2025. Stock price is at $48. It's very close to the 52-week low of $45. So it's trending down, even though the company has this phenomenal product that's gaining significant sales, but the company is not growing sales as much as investors had hoped, and it's undergoing significant headwinds in the weight loss market with compounders, with Eli Lilly, with the US administration pressuring Novo and others to lower prices and offer more accessible treatments. And so I can understand the lower enthusiasm from investors, but I've calculated a fair value of this business at $88, and I don't expect the headwinds to go away anytime soon, but I think longer term this could be an excellent addition to investor portfolios, especially if you don't already have a player in this industry to diversify your portfolio. By the way, did you know about our exciting channel membership program? You get so much for less than $5 a month, including dozens of exclusive videos, access to exclusive research on over 100 stocks, and early access to many of my videos before everyone else sees them. Click that join button below to learn what this program is all about.